Welcome to Grace by Rain, a podcast about the beauty in life. I'm your host, Elaine Shircliff. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining me here on season 6 of Grace by Rain. It's been a long journey. As we've discussed, things are going to look a little bit different this season. It's all about sustainability and not getting burned out. So here we are, episode 1. Um, It's the beauty of the red and white game, baby. I just got home from the red and white game. The Detroit Red Wings came in town for their scrimmage against each other, played at Van Andel Arena. And there is a lot of beautiful things, to be honest, that I enjoyed from the entire day. But I picked four, only four. I know my introductory one, The Beauty of the Prospects games, that was also like my top four moments. I'm not always going to have top four, top four moments. But that's these first two. We are. First of all, I want to give a shout out to both the Griffins and the Red Wings for allowing me to be credentialed for this event, especially the Wings. I know that the Griffins were, hosting it, but I also know that that doesn't mean that the farm team's writers definitely would get an opportunity to cover the event. I know that some teams can be a little bit rough around the edges, a little bit tighter about who can be in interviewing the NHL players, right? I'm so thankful that I had this opportunity. It was a great time and a great event from the chalk talk before the game to the game itself to post game. It was a good time. I wish that more teams did this, that more teams would do a scrimmage at their farm team's building. I know some teams are kind of far away from from their parent club, but it's something that they should definitely look into doing. I think it would be cool if maybe the Wings went back and forth between Toledo and Grand Rapids because they both have such a good fan base for their team. Um, think about it. Think about it. If you're listening, Red Wings, just an idea I'm floating around, but it would be really cool. Just saying. Um, so some of these are going to have clips or of interviews, and some are not going to have clips. I had the last one, number one. I was bummed because I didn't have great audio that I could use to put audio or video that I could use to put in this episode. But there will be an article or two coming up in the next few days about the red and white game, the chalk talk, all of that. So be prepared. Get excited. Now, you ready? We're counting them down. Starting with number 4, Dylan Larkin and his comments about the Griffins. Is it comforting to know that the young guys are ready to step up if need to be? Like, if injuries pile up for you guys can pull from Grand Rapids?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that a lot in the past, and they do such a good job here. And when guys come up, they seem ready. And I know the leaders down here, Shiner and Waddy, and whoever that may be, they always do a great job. And sometimes it's those guys that get called up, and they fit right in, and you can tell that it's just a good organization, good, well-run team down there.
I love it when an NHL player sees value in the AHL being there. I love it when coaches, when GMs, all of them see the value because there is a lot of value. And like Larkin said, it's a good organization. They do good things. They get the guys ready. Dan Watson, especially, is so good at getting guys ready for that next man up. Okay. He's so good at it. He did it in Toledo, came up top, doing it here in Grand Rapids. It's nice that Dylan Larkin, the captain of the Red Wings, he gets it. He gets that it's important. He gets that the Wings might be in trouble if they didn't have a good AHL team to pull from. While the numbers and the success of the Griffins has not been quite the best in the past like 5 years, it has gotten a lot better under Dan Watson. But that doesn't mean that their guys aren't ready for the call, right? You could just, the AHL is tough to judge on how well they're going to do that season because there's always moving pieces. Everything is always moving. And it seems to be that in the past 5 years, almost every time a player goes up top, they do well, and then often they stay. I mean, from Elmer Soderblom to Jonathan Berggren, I mean, they developed and they went up. They worked on what they needed to in Grand Rapids, and then they went up. And and they were ready. And that is a key part to having success in the AHL is being ready. Good timing is everything, right? You could have gotten the call, but the timing was bad because maybe you weren't ready. Like mentally you weren't ready, or even skill-wise you weren't ready. Good timing helps, and it's even better if you're ready all the time. And I can honestly say, after covering the Griffins since the 2021 COVID season, when a player gets called up, they are almost always ready. They are ready to go and ready to slot in. And I think, you know, it has been a rough patch for the Wings. But when you have guys with that mentality at the AHL, and so many of them, that's going to translate to the NHL eventually. And then you're going to start seeing playoffs. You're going to start seeing wins. You're going to start seeing good stuff. But it takes time. It takes time. So when you see someone like Dylan Larkin talk about the AHL the way that he did, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because that also shows the relationship is good between the Griffins and the Wings. Number three, Emmitt Finnie accomplished a goal this summer. At end of season with the Griffins, you told us you wanted to get stronger as well this season. How do you feel like you did in the off season doing that?
Yeah, I thought I had a great program in the off season. I was able to put on 10 pounds this summer, so I feel a lot stronger and more comfortable.
When we talked to Emmitt Finnie at Locker Cleanout Day, end of season exit interviews for the Griffins at the end of the 2024-25 season, he mentioned that he did want to be faster. That was already an asset of his skill. but he also wanted to be bigger and stronger. And he does look bigger. He looks a little bit stronger. He could be a little bit more stronger, but also he's young. And sometimes that comes with age. But he did gain 10 pounds. Okay. And that's a big deal. That is actually a big deal. I know that doesn't seem like, oh, he gained 10 pounds. No, no, no. That's a big deal, especially when you're trying to put on the weight, when you're trying to get bigger, especially in the off season when you're doing a lot of off season training, like to get quicker and to be faster. Sometimes you lose weight, you lose a little bit of weight. And so for him to be able to have gained 10 pounds, it's a big deal. And that's really exciting for him and for the future of the team. Because if he keeps putting on the weight in the right way, if he keeps gaining that muscle mass, and he keeps getting bigger, it does help him get stronger, and that will help his puck game. He'll be able to move the puck up ice without getting knocked around. He'll be able to launch himself into battles on the boards and come out on top, right? So 10 pounds is a big deal. 10 extra pounds is the difference between getting knocked on your butt when you're trying to get a puck off the boards or stealing the puck and taking it out. So good for him, proud of him. The theme with a lot of the Griffins this summer, um, I noticed is like they actually put their mind to it. They actually put the work in. They put the work in and they achieved the results, right? They didn't just go like, I put the work in, but it didn't like work out. They put the work in and made sure it worked out. And I love that. I love it so much. Number two, Mo Seider was a menace to society. Mo Seider was a menace to society, guys. It was so much fun to watch him play. If he is hitting teammates as hard as he hits the opponent, those opponents are in for a wild ride. He was knocking sticks out of people's hands. He was pushing people around. He was just getting into it with anyone and everyone. When you bring intensity into a scrimmage against your own team, like you are against other Red Wings players and you don't care. You're like, my team's gonna win, not yours. That level of competitiveness, it's not something you can create. Like, Cider was clearly just born to compete. And it was so much fun to watch. It was great to be honest. Like he didn't care that he's gonna be playing on the same ice as these guys, playing on the same pairing as some of these guys. He don't care. He doesn't care. And if he's like I said, if he's like that with his teammates, what is he gonna be like with the opponents? Like, I don't typically watch the Red Wings. I obviously have to watch them more this year because I'm full covering their farm team. But I'm excited to see what this kid brings to the Red Wings this year. Like, it's gonna be fun. He's spunky. He's very spunky. Okay, number one, Steve Yzerman talking about the future. This is the one where my audio wasn't so great and I wasn't filming because it was during the chalk talk. But what he said when asked about like the kind of the state of the team, the Red Wings. I thought it was very beautiful for so many reasons. He explained that he was very excited about the future, but then said, and I quote, but getting there is painful and frustrating. Ain't that the truth, Steve Yzerman? Ain't that the truth? You know, it takes a lot of patience to do a true rebuild, okay? Unless you have like the cream of the crop on your team at all times. And even then, there's luck involved with that too, on top of the skill, right? You have injury luck, puck luck. You know, I guess you wouldn't say injury, you would say health luck. You have you have puck luck. You have all sorts of luck that comes into play as well, right? And it can be very frustrating when you're just not reaching the goals that you want to reach, okay? I love that he is speaking the truth to the complexity of like the emotion that goes into it, not just as a GM, but like fans are frustrated. Fans are like, pain, pain. This is awful sometimes. And he gets it. He literally gets it. He's like, I am so excited, but boy, does it hurt. Boy, is it frustrating to get there. And for a GM to be able to echo the sentiments of the fans without saying, like, oh, I get that you guys are frustrated. I get that it's painful for you, but hang with me, be patient. He's literally like in the trenches of emotion. He's literally in the emotional trenches with the fans. He is feeling the same thing, guys. He is feeling frustrated. He is feeling the pain of every loss that gets them closer to getting not into the playoffs. And that's good though, right? Like when you realize that you as a fan and your GM are on the same page about how you feel, it validates the fan experience. It validates the media experience because you're like, well, I'm not alone. Guess what? Steve Yzerman, one of the best players that's ever come through hockey, he's also in pain and frustrated by how this is going. How many people can say that like they all feel the same way? You know, and he is being patient and he's very excited about guys coming in like Emmitt Finnie and Amadeus Lombardi and ASP and MBN, and it's great to have that excitement, but it's also good to show the other side of that. It is good to say like I'm excited, but this sucks. This isn't exactly how I hoped it'd go, right? Like I was listening to that like, oh, that's great. That's exactly how I've felt most of the time since I've moved here. Like, yes, best decision. The future is so bright. There's so many good things that have happened, and so many paths have opened up, and life is good. But also, I miss my family, and some other things didn't work out. So it's painful and frustrating, but also good, you know? And you can kind of, so as you'll learn about me, I also love to look at quotes or things that players and coaches say or GMs say and look at how you can apply it to life. And that is when it gets even more beautiful for me. So that's why he got the number one. Because as a human, not just a writer, I was able to identify with his, I'm so excited for the future, but getting to that part of the future is painful and frustrating. And that's exactly how I think a lot of people view life, right? Like they're trying to enjoy the ride, but they can see their future so clearly. They can see the cool thing that's coming, right? They're like, oh gosh, like this is going to be the best thing for me. But it's not a straight line. It's not smooth sailing all the time. It is up and down. There are hills and valleys, and it's going to be painful and it's going to be frustrating. But Red Wings fans, I say stick along for the ride because I have a feeling in a few years it's going to be fruitful and it's going to be worth all of the pain and all of the frustration. And I am very excited to be on that ride right now. I, which is a weird vibe for me because I grew up a Hawks fan. So it it's a little weird to be excited to be along for the ride for this organization because I spent so much of my life not exactly being the biggest fan um, as, as a fan. But as a writer, like I said, the organization has been so good to me, especially the Griffins. So it makes it even more fun to be on this ride. So buckle up, guys. The ride's going to be great. The pain is going to be there. It's going to be frustrating. Hopefully, the power play doesn't make you cry a lot. Um, the kill does need a little work as well. So it might be a little tough in the beginning of the season, especially on special teams, but stick with it. Stick with it. I think that this year or next year, you're going to see some really good things and it's going to be worth it. And enjoy the ride. Enjoy this beautiful ride we call the Detroit Red Wings and Grand Rapids Griffins and Toledo Walleye and enjoy this crazy ride we call life. Okay? I will see you guys in a few days. And remember to be kind and love always.
My theme music is One Light by Nick Wilkinson and the Featured Players. You can find their latest album, Live Volume 1, on Bandcamp and Spotify. Live Volume 1 was recorded in front of a live audience on May 26, 2017, at Jilly's Music Room in Akron, Ohio.